Out of context. Hello, everybody. Tom here. Hope you're well. I want to talk today about how sometimes we completely and utterly don't grasp the context of a conversation, and why it's very important that we try and understand what context the conversation is before engaging in it. So, this situation comes about quite a lot. You'll be talking to a colleague, a friend, and somebody will misinterpret the context of the conversation, what is meant by it, the tonality, all of those sorts of things. And with that misunderstanding could sometimes be an angry response or a very much big lack of understanding. And then in reply to it, you'll find a very mixed reply as well. So it's vitally important that we try and understand what the context is when somebody's having a conversation. And if we're not aligned with it, it's probably better to not say anything or to not engage at all. Just simply because you can be on very rocky ground over something like this. A misunderstanding of context of what is being said will ultimately lead to a lot of friction, especially in the workplace, because let's be honest, we live in a world now where people will inadvertently try and find a way to be offended. And I know that's very difficult for some of us to grasp, but it's a fact. We can find sometimes that others want a reason to be unhappy and to be offended. And with the lack of understanding of the context of a conversation and what it's about, it's very easy then to go from that base to the place of, well, you've offended me. When actually what is probably meant by the conversation and in terms of its context is not meant to offend you. It's very important we can learn to read the context of what something is forming in a conversation. It's a communication skill that I feel a lot of us probably lack. I've been guilty of it myself, whereas I've completely misinterpreted where somebody was going with something, and in my reply or response, it's not made things better, when perhaps the best thing to have done would have been to have said nothing at all. We must try and bridge the gap here when talking. Find out what is meant by what the other person is saying. Understand the context, the content, what they're getting at ultimately, before making any sort of informed or intelligent reply. I see this a lot in the workplace, especially with the whole idea of having fun and banter, that sort of thing. As I said, people will find a way to be offended. So somebody might say something, the other person may look for something that's not there in terms of its context and start saying, well, you've offended me. Be very careful. try and be as clear as you can in what it is you're talking about, because people will inadvertently pick out what they think is right and be completely wide of the mark. This is a honed skill that 100% needs to be understood to converse properly, and one I think we should really try and get on board with. Guys, first of 3 videos, I want to say thank you all ever so much for listening. I really appreciate your time and your energy spent here on my channel. Thank you kindly. First of 3, as I said, please put down in the comment section below if you had a situation where the context of the conversation has not been perhaps understood. As a result, maybe some angry words were exchanged, or one person's feeling more offended, etc., than the other, or there's just mass confusion. I've been in these situations. It's very difficult. But at the end of the day, if someone's misreading what you're trying to say, it's very easy for them to be offended or misunderstanding. It's so easily happening here. So just bear that in mind. Please, if you would, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. That'd be really great. If you consider as well, give me a thumbs up and a like. That'd be really fantastic. And let's hear that bell sign go ding dong so you know my next content's out. I will be back at the start in a few days time, with another video. But until then, please, all of you, take care of yourselves and bye for now.